Whew. Let me tell you something. We might not get through this video, guys. I'm tired. I'm hanging on by a thread. But hubby went to sleep. We were supposed to watch a movie, and I couldn't sleep. And now I'm sleepy because I've been trying to get this video out. Meghan's in trouble. Kisses to all of you. She's in some major trouble. She has really done it this time. She thought naming Catherine and King Charles was the right thing to do. She hasn't came out and debunk it. She hasn't denounced it. And when she does, it's going to not be authentic. And I believe the statement is coming in the morning. I mean, they're giving us inside scoop. But not taking accountability, not telling him not to write this. Don't do this. Leaving your family alone so they can succeed in their endeavors. Meghan, you wouldn't want someone coming. You didn't know. When Spotify called you a grifter, and when they said that they fired you, didn't you come out with a statement saying how we left on mutual terms, and then you wrote a whole segment about it, and then you even had Miss Scobie write it in a book about Spotify. Because you want to explain your side of the story. I know you do, because you've been trying to do that all the time. You try to explain away your failures. When you left the royal family, you tried to explain that away by blaming people. And it wasn't your fault. Just like it's not your fault that Miss Scobie just put this in a book. That's not your hands are not on it. Just like you had Harry write that book Spare. Just like you went on the Oprah show and did what you did. We're not going to go there. And I went too deep. I just kept going. But my point is that this is who we're talking about. And people are starting to see her MO. It's there. You see the patterns of what she does, and with no regard to anyone's feelings. But she tries to make light of it when she tries to explain it away or blame everybody else. Spotify's not her fault. Netflix won't be in a minute, and WME will be right there too, because the car chase wasn't her fault. All these things are everybody else's fault. And now Meghan is coming out with another statement very soon, I'm sure, to say how she wasn't a part of any of this, but didn't denounce that those two shouldn't have been in the book. That's what I believe, which just keeps it fester. Not really. I think this is it for her. I don't think that. I think it's shocking for the UK, and it's all over the news. Like, it's insane all over the news, because the royal family is like their government. They are. And for someone to attack them like Meghan, it's going to hit headlines. Every headline. Not over here. She's not on our news. That's not news. And so we knew about the Miss Scobie book. I didn't share that. TMZ may have. But now that they have named it, I'm pretty sure Whoopi Goldberg and the rest of them are going to be like, no way. So we'll see. Meghan. Just so you know, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning here. Yes. Okay. Well, the baby goes to sleep late, and me and hubby was going to... No wonder he sleep. Okay. Here we go.
Right, now, it's been another incredibly busy week in the royal household. So early Dutch copies of Blamegame suggested that Kate, and somebody else as well, were potentially making remarks about Archie's skin colour. But it comes as King Charles has flown out to the COP28 conference, a move some of his critics have said unnecessarily involves him in politics. Has all of this rocked the royal boat even further? I'm joined now by royal commentator Judita De Silva and editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday. It is Charlotte Griffiths. Judita, I'll start with you on all of this. Look, how do you think that the rules in question are emerging when it comes to this?
People are shocked. People are disappointed. People are confused. People are trying to figure out what just happened. I am. Because I feel like Meghan continues to play with fire. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. I really do believe she needs to have some type of gag order or something to get her to be quiet, because what is she going to do next? She's always trying to explain away that it's not her fault. Queen Elizabeth, when she passed away, it wasn't her fault that Harry was late. It was because his brother didn't give him any instructions. The New York car chase, 2 hours. Kate made her cry. Her father is dead to her. She doesn't have a sister. That same sister she don't have is suing her for defamation. And that sounds about right, because look at her. She's really trying to defame and take the royal family down. She is. And she is playing. She is not playing fair at all. And I believe they knew that book was going to do that. They planned it. I don't believe he didn't know. That's that stupid stuff. Just go in there and just deny your way. No, there's no way. I would be pissed off, because that's my book. And then you're going to put something in there that I didn't put in there? No, he's too calm. He's like, yeah, we're investigating it. No, you're not. Meghan told him to say that. They're investigating you. They're trying to see how you messed that up, because everybody is troubled. And that's my thing. They need to follow up, and maybe that's why King Charles needs to do something and it's not to go after them, but to say, listen, before you start doing these grenades on me, check yourself. There's got to be something.
Race row.
It's an interesting one, because they've navigated all the napalm that has come as a result of the exodus of Harry.
See, I think we're going through phases. I think we're going through shock, and then we're going to go through pissed off period, and then we're going to be wanting their titles. I think we're still processing this.
Meghan very well, because it's one of those things that it's seen as, give it time, people will move on, and it has happened.
No,
the issue with this,
that's what's going to happen. That was what they were supposed to do. No, Meghan picked up an award. She was proud of that award. They were out on date night. Yeah, we're on date night picking up an award because the family that gave me a $30 million wedding, they're racist. Yeah, that one. The one that gave you the Duchess of Sussex. Oh, yeah, but they're racist. Yeah, that one. The man that walked you down the aisle when you kicked your father to the curb. That one. No, how about the Queen's rode around with you in her car on her engagement? And let's not even talk about how Catherine went to the tennis match with you. But they were out to get you. And they still are. You can't tell me William and Catherine and all of them aren't just perplexed by the vitriol. That's for Oprah. The vitriol. Meghan is straight up attacking.
Since the Oprah interview, it keeps coming back, because one of the worst accusations you can level at anyone is to call those things that it's seen as, give it time, people will move on, and it has happened.
Wait a minute.
The issue with this is that since the Oprah interview, it keeps coming back, because one of the worst accusations you can level at anyone is to call them a racist.
Told you. The Oprah show is going to be it's going to kill it. It's going to kill everything. Because that's what's been killing it from the beginning. It ain't the curtsy. I'm telling you, keep watching my show. It is not the curtsy. It is the racism claims. That's why William got so upset and pissed off when that, he didn't do it this time either. He just kept walking. He's like, whatever. He was like, believe what you want. If you're going to believe that trash, then, it is what it is. That's how he walked past them. When they went out to the hall, I think some hall, she had on her green. She looked so beautiful. Oh, my gosh. and didn't look fazed. I did move into something else, but no, she said it. She said it. It's the Oprah show. Oprah's probably pissed off. You can't tell me Oprah didn't give her a freaking phone call. What's going on, Meghan? Why is the Oprah interview back on the screens? Because of you. Because of you. And they are not going anywhere. They're popping up on everybody's screen. And they're showing that clip about when she said, even Entertainment Tonight. I mean, she is everywhere. And tomorrow morning, I believe it's going to be breaking news. And they're going to show her on that show talking about how Catherine was concerned about what color the skin color was going to be. And everybody going to know she's lying. Most of us. Catherine? I'm going to tell my sister, I'm going to get her on here too. She wants to come on. And I said, when I get everything set up, you know, we're going to do it. And I have someone else that's coming on too. We're going to have a ball. Okay? Let's get to it. She said it. Listen to it, girl. Listen to it, guys. Listen to this. Because to me, this is so key. Because I've always said it. It's not anything else that killed her. It wasn't the fighting. It wasn't the curtsy. It wasn't the suicidal. It wasn't the bridesmaid dresses. It was the racism. That's what made everybody stop and say, what? They're racist? Okay. Now she lied. And so now she decided that it was a good time to dig up that again. I'm telling you, this is why my channel exists. You go back to the beginning. Okay. Big Oprah Winfrey show.
That's why it keeps coming back. So I think it's one of those things that since the Oprah interview, it keeps coming back. Harm that has come as a result of the exodus of Harry and Meghan very well. Because it's one of those things that it's seen as give it time, people will move on, and it has happened. The issue with this is that since the Oprah interview, it keeps coming back. Because one of the worst accusations you can level at anyone is to call them a racist. That's why it keeps coming back. So I think it's one of those things that they might find themselves needing to definitively address it some way. But then you have the issue of you cannot have two rogue people decide what the agenda and the way you move is for the royal family. They've got to be greater than that. They've got to be beyond that. So it's a very difficult thing to navigate. And that's why I understand why they say the firm is exploring all options.
Do you think they should sue?
So she believes that they are going to do something. And I highly recommend it. Because you have someone that's unhinged. She is unhinged. She doesn't know. Oh, just a second. A little brighter. Okay. Anyway. She's unhinged. And she's bent. Just focused so much to take down the royal family. And one by one. One by one. Because she talked about each and every one of them in that book. Because Obi Scobie didn't spare anyone. He did exactly what she wanted him to do. And they had not one nice thing to say. I don't like the light. It's too bright. Hold on. I don't know if that got better or worse. Ooh. Okay, that's better. Whew. Okay. Okay, my battery is doing something. Let's hope for the best, okay?
I don't think they should sue, but I think they sort of threatened to scare Omid a little bit, but I just don't think they will. And I actually don't think they should. It's too complicated because Charles is the head of the courts, you know. Yeah. His name is on the court documents. Yeah. It would just be too much of a mess. But I think the fact they've let it be known that it's a suable issue is quite good for them because it might calm the whole thing down.
Okay. I think public support has actually gone back.
That ain't making sense. No, when you start pointing the fingers, then you're bringing it back. She gave it life. She gave it life. And she'll never be able to take that lie away. And so, I don't know, like everybody's still trying to process this. So let's go.
You know, look, I am getting a directive now that it is okay to actually say what was in this book, which is, I think, actually probably for the best, because everyone really knows as well, don't they? But it was clearly Kate and Charles, who were the two royals, who were suggested were the ones who made that comment about Harry and Meghan's first child, Archie, which actually, to be honest with you, frees up this conversation. Do you think that Kate's popularity will take a hit from this at all, or there's no sign of it, is there?
I think until you... The problem, what has happened is Omid Scobie's credibility has been so tarnished, people are not going to die on the cross of what he said. And until Harry and Meghan come out and actually make a statement, because this is kind of filtered down from you allegedly, no one's going to really want to die on the hill of saying this is exactly what happened, I'm going for it. And people have come out in the past 24 to 48 hours and said that actually from inside sources, it's not Charles or Kate, it's someone else. So the waters are so muddied right now, no one's going to be willing to locked in the past 24 to 48 hours and said that actually from inside sources, it's not Charles or Kate, it's someone else. So the waters are so muddied right now, no one's going to be willing to lance at Kate's statement, because this is kind of filtered down from you allegedly. No one's going to really want to die on the hill of saying this is exactly what happened, I'm going for it. And people have come out in the past 24 to 48 hours and said that actually from inside sources, it's not Charles or Kate, it's someone else. So the waters are so muddied right now, no one's going to be willing to lance at Kate and believe that this is the gospel and this is exactly what happened. It's too unreliable.
Yeah, I mean, it is too unreliable. But like you were saying to you there as well, Charles has come out and said he's just about surviving. I mean, this obviously this would affect anyone's family. It would affect absolutely anybody's family at all. And a little bit later on, I'm talking actually to Nigel Farage's girlfriend, her first ever TV interview. One of the issues that I addressed with her is these allegations of racism levelled against Nigel, for example. If anyone was being accused of racism, it does have an impact to you. And our royal family are not immune to that, are they?
No, exactly. And Charles said at COP something along the lines of, I'm just about surviving. And I really felt for him, actually, because this has been levelled at his daughter-in-law, which we can now say, he...
For her first ever TV interview, one of the issues that I addressed with her is these allegations of racism.
Okay, so he said something about Nigel, so that threw me for 1 second. But let's keep going.
Against Nigel, for example, if anyone was being accused of racism, it does have an impact to you. And our royal family are not immune to that, are they?
No, exactly. And Charles said at COP something along the lines of, I'm just about surviving. And I really felt for him, actually, because this has been levelled at his daughter-in-law, which we can now say. He's really fond of his daughter-in-law. He's worked tirelessly to never put a foot wrong, in public at least. And, it's also been levelled at him by his own son. So there's so many layers of betrayal here for Prince Charles. It's just a complete mess. And
layers of betrayal.
If I was him, I'd be really gutted. He's just become king, and now he's having to face all this all over.
Well, you were giving us a little...
The daughter-in-law from hell. The daughter-in-law from hell. He's so careful because of his son. Or that's his wife or whatever. But it's at this point, King Charles, we understand. Take the titles. Do something. People are calling for it.
Sneak preview, I believe, anyway, of what might be on the front of your paper tomorrow, or possibly somewhere near it.
Yeah. Well, what seems to be emerging is that sources very close to Meghan and Harry have briefed The Telegraph, which we know is one of their favoured newspapers.
Okay. So Meghan has made a statement. This is why I got up. Meghan has made a statement. And of course, she don't want to take full responsibility for it. As if, she's not, making any comments or whatever. Now she has something to say because people are looking at her like, hello. He mentioned you. He said he was in your paperwork. You the one gave him those names. That's how he knows. Omid Scobie came out and just told us that Meghan gave him the names. How else did he get it? A little bug came in there and went, okay, I got it. Bzz, and then buzzed out and said, okay, here's all you need. No. Meghan is trying to write this story. She's excited about putting out the statement. Let's see what they're going to say.
And so,
Your paper tomorrow, possibly somewhere near it.
Yeah. So,
go on.
well, what seems to be emerging is that sources very close to Meghan and Harry have briefed The Telegraph, which we know is one of their favoured newspapers, and said that they never wanted these two names to come out. And it's a really clever thing to do, and it's an irritating thing to do for the royal family, because
Meghan, we never wanted this to come out. BS. Oh my. Tomorrow it is so on. You guys are going to be like, what the heck? You're going to get pissed off again. Sorry. I don't know who we dealing with. Oh, shoot. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Intermission. The baby. I was like, woo, okay. Don't let her get up. Ooh, ooh. We do not need to. Ooh. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. That's scary. Okay, moving on. No, I'm not saying it's going to piss people off, but she's not holding herself accountable. She's still not doing that. She's still not saying, like, no, I didn't do it. She's just saying that she didn't have anything. Let me hear it again, because, I had a moment.
It's one of their favoured newspapers, and said that they never wanted these two names to come out.
So we never wanted it to happen. We never wanted anything to happen like this. No, we never meant to hurt anyone. We never meant to name anybody. We never did this. But they don't deny it. They don't deny and say that we're appalled. We don't know how this happened. No, I don't know how they think that. Oh, this is so shocking. It shocks me. It shocks me because we know it's her, and then she's trying to pretend like it's not. Like, this is just unreal. We didn't want that. We didn't want that to come out. That's your statement? But it did. And it did. Why even say anything? Just why even say anything? Just continue to be silent, because she makes it worse. To me, that would be a worse conversation. She's admitting that she was pretty much okay with it now that it's out. We didn't really want that to happen, but since it's out, oh well. That's what that sounds like to me. I'm going to say it again. We never wanted it to get out, but it's out now, so oh well. They are the two.
And it's a really clever thing to do, and it's an irritating thing to do for the royal family, because they're basically saying, yeah, it is those two, but we didn't want to ever say it was those two.
That's interesting.
They're not saying, it wasn't my, Harry's not coming out and saying, it wasn't my father, I love my father, he would never do something like this, it was only unconscious bias.
Right.
He's saying, we didn't want these names to come out like this.
That is up
to these two names to come out, and it's a really clever thing to do, and it's an irritating thing to do.
He didn't denounce it. He didn't say, after much consideration, I realized that it wasn't racism. And, because it wasn't. And it was curiosity, if you want to put it that way. But Meghan's been waiting on an apology. And for some forsaken reason, did she think she was going to get one now? Oh, God. I'm just trying to figure out what her motives are to do stupid stuff, because this doesn't do you any favors. You are back in the news and in a negative way, but because people are looking at you. Because we know Harry don't got a brain. Well, he has a brain, but he doesn't have a voice. Not right now.
For the royal family, because they're basically saying, yeah, it is those two, but we didn't want to ever say it was those two.
That's interesting.
They're not saying, it wasn't my, Harry's not coming out and saying, it wasn't my father, I love my father, he would never do something like this, it was only unconscious bias.
I love my father, and I love Catherine, and I know that neither one of them would do anything like that, so this is not true. No. The Sussex squad knows it's true. They know that Meghan has sent word to Obi Scobie to put this stuff in a book, and then he leaked it, and then now they over there feeding off of it. Yeah, that's what happened. And we're trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, and who did it. And I believe I know the answers. Meghan, and then Meghan. I know it might seem like I'm always attacking her, but I'm sorry. Harry was not doing this before Meghan. Show me where he was acting this stupid. You can, the Nazi outfit, I get that. He was drunk, trying to figure out what he was going to do with himself, but he was not a betrayal. He was not a traitor. He was not this person. He is not this person over here accepting awards on behalf of racism in the royal family. That stupid stuff. You letting this woman make a fool out of you. Okay. Do y'all think this is Harry? Honestly, come on. You noticing Harry?
He's saying, we didn't want these names to come out like this.
That is actually a really fascinating line on this then. Because everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people were saying, well, you've got to come out and publicly distance yourself from this now. That's what you've got to do if you care about your family and if this isn't true. But actually, they've basically confirmed it.
Yes, whilst appearing to be saying, you know, we didn't want this, we didn't want this.
He said it. So they are saying that it is? Let me just make sure y'all get that.
Now, that's what you've got to do if you care about your family and if this isn't true. But actually, they've basically confirmed it.
Look.
Yes, whilst appearing to be...
He said, wait a minute. the commentator said, wait a minute. Did I just hear what you said? That means they're confirming it. Like, he was shocked.
Now, that's what you've got to do if you care about your family and if this isn't true. But actually, they've basically confirmed it.
Yes, whilst appearing to be saying, you know, we didn't want this, we're such goody two-shoes. But actually, yeah, confirming it, don't you think?
That's quite strong, isn't it?
No, because I did say it like months ago that when they had the alleged statement saying that we're not...
Oh. Okay.
There's no other USP to the Harry and Meghan brand.
You know, we didn't want this, we didn't want these names to come out like this.
That is actually a really fascinating line on this then.
It was for me.
Well, not everyone. A lot of people were saying, well, you've got to come out and publicly distance yourself from this now. That's what you've got to do if you care about your family and if this isn't true. But actually, they've basically...
He go mid-sentence and like, wait a minute. If it's not true, then...
Confirmed it?
Yes, whilst appearing...
Now,
that's what you've got to do if you care about...
We didn't want these names to come out like this.
That is actually a really fascinating line on this then. Because
I didn't want this to come out like this. I didn't want it to come out like this. Admitting it. Telling us, Meghan and Harry are telling us that this actually happened. And they're not sorry that it got out, like Oprah and Scobie. They're both saying the same. Meghan is, listen, you see the person on my screen, and then you see her on his shoulder talking. That's her. And he does exactly what she says. She says, go on there and deny everything. That's what he's doing. And maybe he's not, but he sure is deflecting and blaming. He sure isn't taking responsibility of his own actions with his own manuscript, his own book, saying now he's upset because of the press around it. As if he just didn't do something that he shouldn't have done because he knew it was wrong because he said it was wrong. But Meghan's sitting back watching. Now she wants us to know that she didn't mean for it to come out this way. She is in a soap opera. This is a soap opera. Oh, I'm telling you, all they got to do is get the rolling. That's probably why BBC, they need to do it on them. I can't keep up with her. And I'm not trying to, but I do want to write this down because I don't believe most of this. I believe what I'm saying, but I can't believe it. I'm shocked. I am in shock that she has come out and said this. We're not upset that you found out this way. We're just letting you know that we're sorry that she's focused, totally focused on the racism comment. She's addressing it, which is going to get her into more trouble. I see it. I see it. Don't you guys see it? She's going to come out and say, she didn't want it to come out this way.
Do something like this. It was only unconscious bias. He's saying, we didn't want these names to come out like this.
We didn't want these names to come out like this. But these are the names. It just circles back down to my beginning of my videos, guys. I told you she did it. I told you she wanted it. She didn't get this from a source. Meghan is talking directly to us. And she is saying, yes, I did it. I didn't want it to come out this way. They knew what they were doing. It didn't happen. The book just didn't happen to fall in Holland somewhere on someone's lap and said, oh, there's the two names. And now we're confused trying to figure out how that could happen. I know how. They did it on purpose. And then now Meghan has been silent, but now she's coming out with a statement. Told you she was coming. But she's not denouncing what was said in the book. She's addressing it. Not good. She's not upset that he put it in the book. She's not upset that they named these two. She doesn't care. She doesn't have any feelings towards it. She's not regretful. She's not sad about it. She's glad that it came out. She's been wanting it to come out forever. She allowed Omid Scobie to do it for her so that she wouldn't feel like she was doing it directly. So she can hide her dirty hands behind her back so no one can see. My God. Now, all they got to say, and I believe it, is that they didn't want it to come out this way. How did you want it to come out? So you're upset with Omid Scobie that he let it out? Or are you just upset that it got leaked the way the book was? Which part didn't you want us to, which part was it? You wanted us to know.
It wasn't my
everything
father.
there was
I
to
love
know
my
in
father.
that
He would
book.
never do something like this. It was only unconscious bias. He's saying, we didn't want these names to come out.
He reminds me of that child that that has just, I don't know, traitor.
Like this.
That is
Let's
actually
move
a
on.
really fascinating line on this then. Because everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people were saying, well, you've got to come out and publicly distance yourself from this now. That's what you've got to do if you care about your family and if this isn't true. But actually, they've basically confirmed it.
Yes, whilst appearing to be saying, you know, we didn't want this, we're such goody two-shoes. But
He's like, what?
actually, yeah, confirming it, do you think?
That's quite strong, isn't it?
No, because I did say it like months ago that when they had the alleged statement saying that we're not going to be talking about the royal
You got to be careful with these half Sussex people.
family anymore, we want to move on. They've got nothing else. There's no other USP to the Harry and
remember her
Meghan brand,
saying that.
particularly in America, that's so vicious as to keep their attention.
So
They're
is this okay to do for attention? Is this giving them a way to be connected to the family? This is not a good time.
have to revisit this in some way, but what other ground do you have to cover?
Well,
this reignites possibly the most column garnering story they have about them. And that statement kind of leans into we're disengaging but still feeding the flame. And that is very problematic for them because you're not practicing what you preach.
No. And also, it's just annoying because it's like doublespeak, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, it really is. It's a little bit like you get politicians coming out and say, look, we're doing everything we can with this. And then it emerges that literally the day before, they've just pushed through a policy that does the opposite of what they say. Do you think that the public are just going to get...
Still feeding the flame. And that is very problematic for them because you're and Meghan brand, particularly in America, that's so vicious as to keep their attention, they're going to have to revisit this. I did say it months ago that when they had the alleged statement saying that we're not going to be talking about the royal family anymore, we want to...
remember that? She came out with a statement. I guess she was letting us know then to prepare for this book. We're not going to be talking about the royal family anymore. That's exactly what they said. She's repeating it. That Meghan and Harry said that they were done trashing their family. I didn't know you had to come out and make an announcement about that. Just stop. But she can't. She cannot do it. She's tried everything. Tyler Perry told her to get it together. Ignore it all. Look, listen.
Move on. They've got nothing else.
That's quite strong, isn't it?
No, because I did say it months ago that when they had the alleged statement saying that we're not going to be talking about the royal family anymore, we want to move on. They've got nothing else. There's no other USP to the Harry and Meghan brand, particularly in America, that's so vicious as to keep their attention. They're going to have to revisit this in some way. But what other ground do you have to cover? This reignites possibly the most column-garnering story. Do you think?
That's quite strong.
Sorry.
No, because I did say it months ago that when they had the alleged statement saying that we're not going to be talking about the royal family anymore, we want to move on. They've got nothing else. There's no other USP to the Harry and Meghan brand, particularly in America, that's so vicious as to keep their attention. They're going to have to revisit this in some way. But
I think what she's trying to say is that this subject is here in America. She's trying to keep our attention, and that's why she keeps using stuff like this. I do believe that. Because it's hard to keep our attention if you ain't got nothing going on. And she doesn't. She don't. What? Every time TMZ plays something, one of them people are doing something. And we're like, oh, that's good. That's good. Meghan isn't doing nothing but skedoodling around. She has no talent. And so I believe she's strategic and is doing this for publicity herself. And also, too, she wants people to make... I bet you the Success Squad is so after King Charles and Catherine and saying really bad things about them and thinking that they're doing something great for Meghan, but it's not. Patting Meghan on the back and saying that just outlandish stuff in my mind. And she sits back and let it happen. She did this for them, to give them something to chew on.
What other ground do you have to cover? This reignites possibly the most column-garnering story they have about them. And that statement kind of leans into, we're disengaging but still feeding the flame. And that is very problematic for them because you're not practicing what you preach.
No. And also, it's just annoying because it's like doublespeak, isn't it? Yeah. Again, it really is. It's a little bit...
They say they want privacy. They say they don't all this stuff. But then... they're opening up about things in their family that they have no business doing. Meghan and Oatman Scobie has no reason to be talking about things that they're lying about, number one, in a book. That would disparage the other side and make Meghan out to be the Scarlet Princess. He didn't say not one thing negative about Meghan, not one. And the one thing he did, someone mentioned, was stupid. I won't even repeat it. Something about she was getting so many deals and she was confused in the beginning on how to do it. No, you're just saying you want them deals back, but they ain't here no more.
Like, you get politicians coming out and say, look, we're doing everything we can with this. And then it emerges that literally the day before, they've just pushed through a policy that does the opposite of what they say. Do you think that the public are just going to get absolutely sick of...
They say that things have been leaked. Meghan said this is leaked and that is leaked. And the letter was leaked about how she was writing back and forth to King Charles. No, she was setting herself up to get ready for this book so we can refer back to that letter. I don't trust her. I really don't. Because I think, like she said, Meghan's trying to stay relevant. I don't know why she wants the drama. But trying to stay relevant at all costs. And that's by, revisiting the things that got her attention in the first place. I think she's an attention seeker. I think that she likes being in the news, both American and the UK. Like she said, she can't help herself. And good or bad publicity, she's loving it. But at some way, she's going to make herself out to be like the damsel in distress and the one that was the perfect person in the book. Her and Harry are the perfect people, and everybody else, not one person in her family treated them nicely. Not one.
Of Harry and Meghan doing this, of being quite duplicitous, some would argue in this way.
Yeah, I think the public are kind of sick of it. I mean, completely sick of it. I think back when it originally happened, they said recollections may vary, and then William said we're very much not a racist family, and the world has moved on now. And the fact it's come up again, there's the nation's sort of giving Charles and Kate the benefit of the doubt, aren't they? There's no pile-on. I haven't seen a pile-on. People have moved on, and they're hoping that Charles and Kate aren't racist.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and that's the hope, I suppose.
Moved on in a sense, but I'll never forget she said it. And now that she's resurrected, here we go again. Here we go again. Bringing unnecessary attention to herself. That is in a bat-like way.
Whether or not it's going to have a generational issue, though, these kind of things stay with you.
Yeah.
And, the Gen Z type at the moment, all you have to do now is go on Google. We saw it again a bit in the jungle, didn't we? When Nella was saying, "Oh, well, the internet says you're a racist, Nigel. The internet says you're a racist." Well, this stuff will be all out there on the internet now, and will that have a problem for the royals with the younger generation?
That's what I said. That this is such one of those unique accusations that you can't walk away from. You have to address it, but they have to navigate how they're going to do it, because then you don't want to look like Harry and Meghan still pull the strings for how we operate. But to have racism swirling around the brand, by the time William comes to the throne, it's going to be an issue, and people will remember that something that Harry and Meghan still.
That's what she's saying, defaming them. Before William can even get on the throne, Meghan is making him out to be who she is, a bully. Someone that doesn't have a heart, doesn't care. Like, why would your daughter-in-law do all this to you when you've done so much for her? And the only thing that she can say is that somebody said that it was concerning about the skin color, which holds no weight because it doesn't make sense. She made a blanket statement without any facts or any details, and we are supposed to believe her. We are supposed to take her word for it, and not all of a sudden, Crystal, she names the two, and we supposed to believe that now too? No, I don't believe that. I don't. And even if it wasn't racist, that's the sad part about it. That the conversation wasn't. And it makes people dig deeper into figuring out, okay, what really happened now? Let's go back to what Meghan said. And then you look at Catherine, and then you look at the situation. You're like, so I will never forget this. Catherine is going to go in there and tell King Charles, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a problem. The black child. See what the... It doesn't make sense. Why even bring her in the royal fold in the first place if they didn't want her? Why make her a senior royal? Why spend that kind of money on someone that you don't like?
Pull the strings for how we operate. But to have racism swirling around the...
They're going to have to say something. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to take action. But whatever action they take, it's going to affect... If they take any action, it will affect them. And then Americans and all of us will start seeing like, someone got a whooping.
And by the time William comes to the throne, it's going to be an issue. And people will remember that something that bad came into your circle and you refuse to address it. It's not keep calm and carry on. It's engage, debunk it, and prove that it's something that isn't true.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that they have to come out and do all that. I really don't. Because if the family knows that it wasn't racist and they know that she is attacking them on a superficial level, then why should they have to respond and give it air and give it breath? No. This is Meghan shenanigans. They don't have to answer to it. I'm wishy-washy with the answering. But I don't think they need to answer it. But I do think they need to act and shut her up, gag her. Do a gag order where she can't do it. You know, and because obviously she's not keeping their name out of her mouth. And she's hell-bent on destroying William's reign before he even gets to the throne. What kills me is how she thinks that everyone is supposed to pat her on the back. But when it comes to William and Catherine, she doesn't support their endeavors. No, she tries to be doing something when they're having their engagements. Look at me, look at me. Instead of supporting them, she never supported them. She never did what she said she was going to do. And then when she left, she just wreaked havoc. Got worse and worse and worse. There's no forgiveness there. And King Charles has said it out loud. He said, we're going to continue to support them and we love them from over there because this is the life that they had chosen. And now she wants to ring back. Oh, but don't forget about the racist that I conjured up. No. I think now if anyone takes any of them seriously, I think it's just, this is pathetic.
Okay. Now, Sean, I'd already asked you this, so I'll stay with you.
I'm out of here, guys. I may or may not post this video. I don't know. I was really tired when I did this video. Kisses to all of you. I hope you enjoy it. Tell me what you think about Meghan and her statement that she's going to come out with. Are they allegedly, and through her spokesperson, through a third party or whatever, how they didn't want it to come out this way? Yes, you did. Oh, yes, you didn't want it to come out this way, but you wanted it to come out. That's what she's saying. Not only did she want it to come out, but maybe she wanted to do it on a different terms. Why? Why was it important for you to tell us at all? That, like, it was a private conversation between family members. And no one's offended but you, Meghan. And so now everybody's trying to figure out what's up. Because you're the only one got offended. Because we still want to know what the kids look like. To this day. What do they look like? Are they black, white, ginger? And what do Lily look like? Is her hair brown, red? What color is it? We haven't seen the kids. We don't know what they look like. So what would be the difference between King Charles wondering what the kid's going to look like as a journalist? A journalist is worried. I'm wondering. You know, my mom's wondering. Everybody's wondering what the kid is going to look like. Is you stupid? But no, Meghan twisted the concerns. Oprah, you might need to re-interview her and ask her what concerns. No, so she can get on there and start lying again. Don't do that. Sorry, I was a little tired tonight, guys. So, no, I just think that that she likes to play games and she's writing this story and, you know, we are supposed to believe it. And I don't believe any of it. And I think that her day of reckoning should be soon. Accountability. I know her sister, the court is moving on and Meghan's got to show some receipts. That's going to be good. That's going to be juicy. And that it's not going to be good for next year. Meghan is already going into the new year with negativity. She started off with it, with this book, her and Obi Scobie. So I'm like, you know, I haven't really been able to enjoy the book that I spent all my hard work on. No. Gathering trash to trash isn't he from that country? Doesn't he live in England? Why would you bash your own country? Guys, have a great day. I hope I get to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.